Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our public council meeting, November 18th, 2025, here in the city of Mount Pearl. Council, Ms. Pico and staff have presented to you an agenda for the night, and I think we should approve it first before we proceed with the meeting. So I'm going to call for a motion. Thank you, Councillor Rice, and seconded by Councillor Lane. All in favor? Those opposed? And that's carried. And in recognition of the City of Mount Pearl's commitment to foster respectful and collaborative relationships with Indigenous peoples here in the City of Mount Pearl and beyond, we hereby acknowledge that the land on which we gather is the ancestral and unceded territory of the Beothuk and the Mi'kmaq. Mount Pearl and the broader metro region continue to be home to diverse Indigenous peoples, including First Nations, Inuit, and Métis. Last public meeting, folks, was November 4th. Before us is the minutes. And again, thank you to Ms. Pico and the city clerk, Ms. Walsh, for doing that. Is there any errors or omissions? Hearing none, I'm going to call for a motion for both the action report and the minutes. Moved by Councillor Fry, and thank you, second by Councillor Locke. All in favor? Opposed? And that's good. We've adopted those minutes. Is there any business arising? Hearing none, and you've approved the agenda, and I'm inclined to follow it. I know we had hockey with heart here in the city of Mount Pearl, thanks to the Mount Pearl Blades. But we also had the hunting of Powers Pond. And as part of that, put together primarily by our staff in recreation and public safety under the leadership of Jason Collins. They did a wonderful job, I think, putting it together. It's grown every year. It's become one of the destinations for many a bus tour in Halloween. And the pond really was haunted this year. And it was so haunted, we actually extended, I believe, by 2 days because we had some rainouts and the like. And I think on the Sunday, Director Collins, can you tell us about the crowd and the lineup? And was it all the way back to Donovan's Irving from the dog park?
It was, Your Worship. We estimated there was around 5,000 went through that Sunday evening. At the time, I think many felt or thought it was going to be the last night, and it was a beautiful evening. But we did extend it after, but that's probably what encouraged some extra people to go through in the Sunday evening.
Well done, and I'm pleased to welcome on behalf of the food banks here in the city of Mount Pearl. We've got Felicia with the Salvation Army, Bob with the St. Vincent de Paul, Mary Queen, and we've also got Our Lady Queen of Families. Sandra, you're here with the St. Vincent de Paul as well. So I'd invite you, please come up, and we're going to present you with a check. And this is most of the proceeds. Yep, come on up. This is most of the proceeds from the great support that we got from the community and the cash donations that we received, and also the great effort of our staff to pull all this together, right? So, and I think Con is going to speak. So before we do the check presentation, the exact amount of money doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It's the good work that's going into providing good food and support for families in need. And Sandra, does it make a difference?
First of all, we'd like to thank the city for partnering with us to let us do this. It was a great event, and I'd like to thank your staff for the wonderful, I didn't go around because I'm too scared anyway, freaks me out, but so many people came through. The weather wasn't really on our side, but people still came, and it was a great event, and everybody was saying it was the best ever. That's what they were telling us at the gate. It was interesting with the rain, but anyways, we did what we did, and it was lovely. And we will certainly put the money to good use. Our numbers are up. The demand is getting bigger, and we know it. Prices are gone. I don't know where they're gone, but anyway, it's unbelievable, the price of stuff that's gone up. For example, we do riblets for our Christmas hampers. They're gone up $3 a pail since last year. So that's a big expense on us, and that's costing a small mint. That's just one item. So we want to thank the city very much for partnering with us, and we thank you for your continued support, and thank you so much.
No, thank you for all you do with the poor in our city council. Anybody want to comment before we present the check? We unveil the number. All good? All right, council, come on up. Drum roll, please. The number is $10,810. Can you believe that? Wow. Amazing, thanks, folks. Amazing work done in our community and amazing commitment from our staff to make it even better. There was multiple different types of events which may have increased the participation. There was ultra thrill event nights. There was daytime. There was sensory sensitive evenings. And then the run of the mill, just, scared out of your pants type night, right? CAO.
That's right. And I think that's one of the things that I appreciate so much about our staff is that they continuously try to add more and do things better. And the theme of continuous improvement really does live here at the city. And I just think in talking to our team and, Jason, your team with Jen and our event team and the whole rec team pulling it together, it's just truly fantastic. This year they added entrances to each of the segments and you're walking through, and I did not participate in the thrill seeker night. I too am a little bit scared of that, but I did go, and just seeing the excitement there and seeing that mirrored by our staff and knowing that we're giving back to the community is just something really powerful. And based on that, I just extend such gratitude for our team in recreation and also public works, who I did see play a significant role in this, along with communications. Really just a full team effort, and seeing that translate into over $10,000 back into our food banks just before Christmas is something we can all be really proud of. So thank you to everybody for all of your hard work in that.
All right, let's keep the meeting rolling. Invoices for approval, I think, is the first for corporate services. Councillor Antle.
Oh, thank you very much. Oh, you go. No, it wasn't that much better. Yeah, invoices for approval for the dating of November 18th for $719,080.63. You can look in your kit there. There's a few there, but a couple things I did notice is around about $200,000 for regional services that we're quite participating in. But one there I noticed there, and as we just did, is for the haunted hike, our security solutions for that period of time. It's too bad we had to do this. Is security for $19,458. So without the security there, the product could be broke up and this kind of stuff. But I mean, it's $19,000 that cost the city. Anyhow, and for an ISO move.
It is moved by Counselor Antle and seconded, thank you, by Counselor Locke. Any questions, council? Before we approve the $4+ million here tonight? Sorry, I meant the 719,000, thank you. All in favor? Contrary-minded? That's carried.
And number 2, there is our payment register and purchase card. This is for your information only. For total, this is from October the 30th to November the 12th, for a total of $4,121,955.72. And the purchase card report for September the 26th to October the 27th, for a total of $503,024.18. And that's in your kit there, and that's just for your information only. Any questions? Or? Number 3, the committee recommends, based on an RFP evaluation, of awarding RFP 2531 for the provision of cellular services and plan to Bell Mobility for an estimated 5-year period of $157,836 HST included. And you can read all the information, all the particulars in the kit, but our committee recommends this, and I so move.
Again, moved by Counselor Antle, second by Counselor Locke. Questions? All in favor? Those opposed? And we've carried that motion as well. Thank you.
And number 4, it's quite an interesting, quite an important piece of legislation that we have to put through. And it has to do with a stop work order for 53 Greenwood Crescent. All council are familiar with this issue. The committee recommends, and this is immediate, issuing a stop development order to Nickel Properties located at 53 Greenwood Crescent. And if you look in your kit, just one second there, and I want to just read over some background on this. Gone too far, sorry. This is regard to a development on 53 Greenwood Crescent, and this has been going on for a number of years. The city has received ongoing complaints and reports regarding 53 Greenwood Crescent. Complaints have included, but are not limited to, violence, drug use, and discarded drug paraphernalia. Recent reports have raised concerns that the property is not operating as a hotel. This, if you know the location, is the Riverwalk Hotel there on Greenwood Crescent. It's supposed to be operated as a hotel, but right now it may be operating as a for-profit emergency center. Newfoundland and Labrador Housing Corporation has acknowledged that it's now placing individuals at the property to meet demands related to an emergency shelter. The property owner, therefore, has made a material change in use or intensity of the property without a permit or application as required by the city. And this is why we're moving this forward as a stop work order. And this is moving forward immediately, and I so move.
Moved by Counselor Antle and seconded by Counselor Locke. Questions, council? Counselor Rice, thank you.
Something comes to our table that's concerning to all council and the residents in the city. So I just want to comment on this one, actually. And the comment I'm going to make, actually, as a city councillor, we've had many conversations with residents in that area. Not so pleasant conversations on why they are operating over there as we figure it's a hotel, but apparently it's not. We've had, when as a city councillor, my perspective on it would be, you got to listen to the residents who live in that area. And, sometimes when you're trying to make decisions as a city councillor for all areas of the city, you listen to the residents in that area and their concerns, and they have some major concerns over there. That is criminal activity sometimes. I know the RNC is if we had conversations about how many times the RNC has been over there over the past several months and I guess into the year. And, we have to listen to the residents in the area. So that's why this is coming to the table here, and from my part. And I certainly support this, because we have some residents over in that area who have actually moved out of their house and they're living in their cabin from conversations with other people that they can't enjoy their backyard like they've always done. So I certainly support this, and I'm looking forward to more discussion on it, actually. Thank you.
Further thoughts or comments? Hearing none, I'm going to call the question to adopt this order. All in favor? And those opposed? Carried unanimously. And that is the next item is, I should say, is Public Works. And we're going to turn to Councillor Fry.
Thank you, Your Worship. I only have one item this evening, and that's just for information purposes. It's just an update on our Public Works Division. So our Roads Division are continuing work on asphalt repairs, street sweeping, maintenance holes, and catch basin repairs. Our Parks Division, however, are working on some fun stuff. They're working on our Christmas parade float. They're doing our Christmas lighting at St. David's Park, and they're also doing our fall trail maintenance. Fleet Division, their ongoing service and maintenance, ongoing motor vehicle inspections, and snow clearing equipment is being inspected and prepared for the upcoming season, so we'll be ready. Our UTM division, they're continuing with general calls and water and sewer repairs, leak detection, catch basin cleaning, head wall cleaning, river and stream maintenance, lift station inspections and maintenance. And you can see from the graph here in our kits, the water levels at Babel's Big Pond as of November the 10th have increased by almost 2 feet. So we've had an awful lot of rain, and we've needed that rain, although it all came in the 1 month, which wasn't so great, but we needed it. And that's it for me, Your Worship.
Thank you very much, folks. I'm going to be in conflict of interest in the next one, and Deputy Mayor's not here to take the chair. So would you please indulge me in a little vote, or a vote, to appoint the senior member of council to chair the next item? That would be Councillor Locke, I believe. If everybody's okay with that, I'm going to step out. So to install Councillor Locke as chair, I'm going to call for a motion. Thank you, Councillor Rice. Second by Councillor Randall. All in favor? Those opposed? And Ms. Sinnott is a family member, so I'm going to bow out.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Moving on. So as we said, the next one is recreation. And Councillor Randall is speaking to this. Sorry, Councillor Lane. So I'll turn it over to you, Councillor Lane.
Thank you very much. The committee recommends signing a one-year contract extension with Kimberly Sinnott Bookkeeping to provide bookkeeping services for the Mount Pearl Seniors Independence Group, Admiralty House, and Park Place Community Centre for November 1st, 2025, and concluding on October 31st, 2026. So we're already having bookkeeping services from Kimberly Sinnott. This is just an extension. And I so move.
Moved by Councillor Lane, seconded by Councillor Rice. Any comments or questions? No? Okay, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Contrary-minded? Motion is carried. I'll get the mayor to return now.
Here, the next item on the agenda for recreation and community safety is the Sink or Swim swim meet, which is happening December 4th to the 7th, 2025, and this is for information purposes only. The Mount Pearl Maryland will be hosting the Sink or Swim swim meet from December 4th to the 7th, 2025 at the Summit Center Pool. This event will welcome over 250 swimmers from age 9 to 21 from across Newfoundland and Labrador to compete. This will involve the cancellation of the following swims. Thursday, December 4th, 8 to 8:50 p.m., the adult leisure swim. Friday, December 5th, from 6 to 9:15 a.m. and 11:30 to 1:30 p.m., the lane swims and adult leisure swims. And 9:30 to 10:20 a.m., the parent and tot swim. 7 to 7:50 p.m., family swim, and 8 to 8:50 p.m., the public swim. There's also cancellations on Saturday, December 6th, the 9:30 to 10:30 lane swim, 10:45 to 11:30 family swim, 3:30 to 4:15 public swim, 4:45 to 5:30 p.m. century swim. Swimming lessons will be going ahead as scheduled, Saturday, December 6th and Sunday, December 7th. Sunday, December 7th, 7 to 8:20 a.m. is the lane and adult swim. 10:45 to 11:30 a.m. and 7 to 7:50 p.m. the family swims, 3:30 to 4:15 p.m. public swim, 8 to 10 p.m. the adult leisure swim, and 9 to 10 p.m. lane swim. And these cancellations can also be found on the city website. So that was also for information purposes only. Next is something that we're all looking forward to, the Mount Pearl Lions Club Santa Claus Parade, which is happening December 6th, 2025. So join us for this festive community tradition as we celebrate the holiday season together. Additional details will be shared on the city's official social media channels closer to the event date. The city extends its sincere appreciation to the Lions Club for their continued dedication and efforts in organizing this much-loved community event.
Please.
Thank you, Mayor. Yep, the parade is, like I said, a must-see, must-attend. But speaking with Gerald Coombs and Claudette Coombs, who are instrumental in organizing this every year, they are organizing treats or little gift bags that they give out to the spectators, primarily children, but not limited to children. You know, little prize bags can go to adults as well, those who are young at heart. Tomorrow evening at Park Place, they are assembling the bags. What they did, which I thought was a great initiative, they put a call out for any residents who had, like we did, excessive amounts of candies remaining after the trick-or-treaters had finished their rounds. So I turned mine in up at the Summit Center, and other place people turned here at City Hall. And Gerald and Claudette and the Lions are using these candies for the treats in the Santa Claus Parade. So they're looking at 3,500 bags. So tomorrow night at Park Place, they got tables down there. It's a well-organized machine. But anybody who's interested in volunteering can go down, I think at 6 or 6:30, and help fill these loot bags for the Santa Claus Parade on December 6th. That's it for me, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, next we have the Owl's Parade, St. David's Park, and Powers Pond. Join us as we kick off the holiday season with magical evenings of lights and community cheer. Saturday, December 6th from 6 to 7 p.m. at St. David's Park, and Monday, December 8th from 6 to 7 p.m. at Powers Pond in the Boathouse location. Enjoy festive music, hot chocolate, twinkling displays, and a cozy atmosphere perfect for the whole family. Bundle up, bring your holiday spirit, and help us make this season merry and bright. And last for this agenda is the Breakfast with Santa, which is December 14th, 2025. Santa Claus is coming to town, and he's swapping cookies for pancakes. Join us on Saturday, December 14th at the Reed Center for our annual Breakfast with Santa. Enjoy a delicious breakfast, festive fun, and a visit with Santa himself. Tickets go on sale Wednesday, November 26th at 10 a.m. and must be purchased in advance. They will be available until Monday, December 8th or until sold out. Tickets are $10 per person and will include both a seat and meal. Children under 2 may attend free of charge, meal not included. Please note that tickets are non-refundable. So that concludes the recreation and recreation report. Yes, and I'm community safety lead, so I'll do the next item as well. And this is for information purposes only. The snow clearing regulations will come into effect on December 1st, 2025 through to March 31st, 2026 inclusive. An unattended vehicle is not permitted to be parked on any street or city-owned land within the city between the hours of 1 a.m. to 8 a.m. For further information, including fine amounts, visit the city website. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
No, thank you. I was going to say, Director Dollamount, we're passing this, not really passing it, we're informing the public tonight. It was a beautiful afternoon out there. Why don't we just wait for the first snowfall before we implement the parking ban?
Well, that's a great question, Mayor. But the reason why we do that, it's not only for snow clearing reasons. Whenever there's any vehicles parked on the street, if we're doing any ice control, that the vehicles actually prohibit the salt from getting out in all areas of the whole surface of the road. So that's why we anticipate and we require this snow clearing regulations.
Sounds good, council, because you're all going to get asked by one person at least why the regulations don't come in until winter begins, but we really don't know, do we? Yep. Okay, thank you very much. Over to you, Councillor Rice, and we get to talk about uniting the trailway.
Thank you, Worship. So I'm going to give actually some information on this one. So this one is the bring in by the Engineering Department, Newfoundland T-Railway pedestrian crossing on Commonwealth Avenue. So we out of this one, we had 2 of the 3 contractors submitted pricing to welcome the construction of the T-Railway crossing at Commonwealth Avenue. So work associated with the crossing includes a refuge island, a right-hand in and a right-hand out on Glendale Avenue, a light pole bases and associated conduit for the crosswalk lighting with the electrical work. Work associated with the crosswalk poles, installation and electrical is included in the Black and McDonald standing offer. Just to give a bit of information on this one, the budget financial implications was $317,500. Budget comprised of $257,500 from the city contribution and $60,000 from the funding through the Trans Canada Trail Network trail system. Just reading some other information here. Also, partners and other stakeholders, the Trans Canada Trail, nearby businesses and residents will be contacted. So we had to get 3 quotes on this one as part of the procurement regulations. So the accessibility and inclusion, the crosswalk will have barrier-free curb ramp, tactile plates, and a pedestrian activated crossing, which is so important. So engagement and communication considerations will be notified to the public, will provide prior to the work commencing. They will include Glendale Avenue residents and they will have hand-delivered notices. So the recommendation from Planning, Engineering and Development recommends that Council award the Newfoundland Teal Railway pedestrian crossing construction to Dexter Construction Company Limited in the amount of $298,418.10, HST included, and I so move.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Rice, seconded by Councillor Antle. Questions? I think Councillor Antle, who is probably looked forward to this as much as anybody in the room, maybe the exception of Councillor Rice.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yeah, this is a great thing to see. I mean, we have talked about this in council at great length. Safety is key. I mean, that's what we all talked about, to make sure this was safe. We just couldn't put a crosswalk across Commonwealth Avenue and not be safe. And compliments to Director Batt. We've talked about this for many, many days, nights. You know, this trail crossing, the activated, it's tied into Park Avenue and Ruth. So when you push that button, it activates on Park Avenue. So you might have to wait a couple of seconds or minutes to get this working properly. You know, as we say, safety is key. But how many residents do I see on that trail? I'm on the trail nearly every day. And they come up as far as that trail and they either stop and they go the other direction, or they won't go, they jut across Commonwealth Avenue. You see it all the time. I think I sat there with Mark one day and it was 80% of the people we saw ran directly across Commonwealth Avenue. So this is going to make that crossing so much more safe, you know. And I think it's in 8 or 9 years that I've been on council, we've been talking about this nearly every single month. So it's great to see, and I'm very, very happy to see this come across. Thank you. And
Now that it's done, I hope you're not going anywhere. Director Batt, I think this is very similar to the crosswalk that's on Park Avenue that's activated, with a notable difference, especially being the island as a transfer point, I guess, for safety, because of the 4 lanes configuration there. 4 lanes? No, 5 lanes in that area of Commonwealth Avenue. Would you like to comment, sir?
Yeah, this project's actually, construction is going to be starting in the next couple of days, pending approval tonight. It's going to break ground, putting in some concrete works. It may not be operational before the end of the year, but it's certainly going to be started this year. So you'll see some movement on that in the next coming days. But yeah, it is going to be a pedestrian activated crossing with a refuge island in the middle, because you are crossing multiple lanes of traffic. So it gives a safe space to, you know, stop in the middle if needed to be as you're waiting across. But, you know, that with the right in, right out on Glendale as well is going to really improve safety there. But there's a focus on pedestrian movements, but it is going to be linked in with the adjacent lights up on Topsail as well as Park.
Good stuff. I think it's a real balancing act. We've toyed with some of the potential capital costs with this versus the safety. Council, any other comments? Councillor Locke.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to confirm, it's a similar setup to what we have down on Park Avenue. It's not a full set of traffic lights that are going to stop. Because one of the issues that we did talk about was the owners of the mall in that area have always been, concerned about the traffic getting in and out. I know we did toy or consider putting full-fledged traffic stoplights there, but cost prohibitive and I guess traffic flow and the like. But will this in any way, Director Batt, help alleviate or expedite the exiting from that strip mall onto Commonwealth Avenue?
No, it won't help alleviate the vehicles exiting onto Commonwealth Avenue, but it will make it safer for everybody. It will be pedestrian activated, so focus on pedestrian movement as opposed to vehicles. But based on our traffic study, there should not be an unacceptable delay in traffic movement.
Thank you, Director. Also, the last FCM that I attended, I spoke with someone at CN Rail. Actually, Councillor Royce or Councillor Andrew gave me one of the CN Rail hats for my grandson, which you really appreciated. But we discussed, again, years back, and I'll throw it out there again, to honor the T Railway and the train history that we have in Mount Pearl. I would like to see if we could incorporate the former railway crossing signs that used to blink there. And I spoke at someone at CN Rail, and I asked them, I said, do you have any, I explained my idea, and he said, we might have some old signage that we'd be willing to donate to the city of Mount Pearl to honor the train history here. So I'll just throw that out there as food for thought. I think it'd be a neat little addition to honor the train that used to, I remember as a kid waiting for the arms to come down there at Commonwealth Council. So. No, just I'm picturing the crosshatch. Well, we can take it away, not to committee, but we can, I just think it'd be neat, you'd still get the stoppage, but I'll throw it out there as a point for consideration. And CN Rail said they'd be happy if we wanted to reach out and see if they have anything in their inventory that might help us out. Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, I think the X sign, one word was railway and the other one was crossing, right? And that's probably what you're talking about too, right? Yeah, absolutely. Anybody else? Councillor Fry?
I guess my biggest concern with this is to make sure that we do a lot of public awareness around it. And I'll give you an example. The last couple of nights, it's been rainy and dreary, and I was driving that way, and I literally came this close to hitting a person on a bike and a person running, just darting across. I didn't see them. It was dark, it was rainy, and it startled me. And I guess that got me thinking a lot. And they didn't stop. They came across and they went. So my concern is that there may be a false sense of security. If people know there's a crosswalk there, will they stop and look both ways, or will they just dart? So I'd like to see some social media or some public awareness about that. And I'm thinking more like young kids, because young kids don't always think they see a crosswalk. Is that a false sense of security? They can just walk and they have the right of way. Maybe, but at the end of the day, we don't want anybody to get hurt, and we want to make it safe. So that's just my ask, is to make sure that there is some something around that.
Yeah, no, good point. And I guess there's a communication plan starting tomorrow because you're starting construction. So that's a construction-related plan in the coming days?
Yeah, that communication plan's already underway.
Any further comments? I'll call the question. All in favor? And contraminded? Carried. Thank you very much. Councillor Locke.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a continuation of what Councillor Rice was speaking about, the Trans-Canada Trail with the Commonwealth T Railway crossing there. But this is some additional funding that we received. I know in Councillor Rice's report, he indicated there were $60,000 there from the Trans-Canada Trail. Our staff, of course, is always exploring funding options to help support capital works in the city of Mount Pearl. And in March of 2025, they did so. And they applied to the Trans Canada Trail, and it was confirmed that an additional $30,000 in funding for our project at Commonwealth Avenue was granted as of June 2025, and the contribution agreement was executed July 21st of 2025. So on October 29th, Trans Canada Trail contacted our staff concerning the additional $30,000 in funding. And again, it's going to support this new crosswalk here at Commonwealth Avenue. And the TCT, or the Trans Canada Trail, amended the contribution agreement, and receipt of a payment is expected within 10 to 12 weeks. So it's great news. I was a little excited. I called Director Batt today because I read through Councillor Rice's report, and when I saw an additional $30,000, I thought it was $90,000 in total. But Director Batt quickly got back to me and said it was $60,000, but we're still appreciative of the extra $30,000. And I want to extend thanks to our staff, of course, for seeking out increased funding. So that was for information purposes, Mayor. Okay, the next one is a recommendation for a development application that's come before the city, which requires a decision of council. The application proposes construction of 2 new buildings on the 969 Topsail Road. That is the lot just east of the paint shop lot up there. And the application is for the removal of the existing structure there and the construction of 2 brand new buildings. But according to our Mount Pearl development regulations, constructing multiple buildings on one lot, that constitutes a planned unit development, which requires council's approval under our regulations. And one of the conditions is that the city must enter into a development agreement with the property owner to be registered with the Registry of Deeds. So staff has reviewed this. It meets all of our regulatory requirements. And the recommendation is, the department is recommending that a development agreement be signed and registered on title with the Registry of Deeds, and further that a development permit be issued, subject to meeting all conditions and requirements as set out by the Planning, Engineering and Development Department, and I so move.
Moved by Councillor Locke, and I got to double check, and the seconder normally would be Deputy Mayor Kiley. So I'm going to go to Councillor Lane to second it, please. Thank you. And any questions? Hearing none, I'll call the question then. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Carried. Thank you.
And that's it for me, Mayor. Thank you. Sorry about that, Mayor. Yeah, the next item up then is our development permit listing for October 27th, 2025 to November 7th of 2025. You can see there are 2 development permits listed there. And if there's any questions, we'll certainly take those. All good? I'm going to do the Capital Works update as well. Okay. No worries. Would Councillor Rice like to take this? Okay. All right. I'll hand the baton to you, Councillor.
Anyway, I got a Public Works update. So we got on information purposes only, and the consideration of council and the public, Farrell Drive Pump House upgrade, a construction ongoing. The asphalt and concrete tender construction ongoing 90% complete. 2025 concrete works tender construction ongoing 70% complete. And under White Boulevard upgrades, we got construction ongoing 15% complete. Construction is planned, excuse me, to continue into December, weather permitting. This extension is required to maintain the project schedule and mitigate risk associated with delays, particularly with developer coordination and 2026 completion targets. Under a sewage lift station, which is Mount Carson Avenue, construction is ongoing 30% complete. And Jackman Drive upgrades, contract is awarded. Work in easement is to be completed in 2025. Our water tower access road, a contract is awarded on this one. Kickoff meeting to be held this week. And water storage tank design build. Requests for proposal closed and submissions are under review. Under a Glencoe culvert replacement, construction ongoing 45% complete. T Railway Crossing Commonwealth Avenue, a request for quotations closed December 10th, 2025, which was just awarded in our past conversations under Public Council. And the concrete work starting November 2025, which I think most of the work is starting on that one, according to Director Batt, in the next couple of days. And that is our report. Thank you.
Thank you. Pardon. So, Councillor Fry, please.
I'm just wondering if we can get an update on the north of Topsail Road construction. I know I've had a couple of residents ask me about that and what the status is. Just wondering if we can get an update.
Yeah, so Wyatt Boulevard, that's nearing completion for the year. There's going to be a part that's constructed in December, but it will be paved and capped before the winter comes. But they're making good progress up there. They got a lot of servicing in, and they should be up to Tavener by the end of this month.
Anything else? I think we're going to close it now with one last, I think, planning item, which is just the occupancy permit listing. Councillor Locke for information.
Thank you, Mayor. It's the occupancy permit listing for October 27th to November 7th. Again, it's for the information, attention, and consideration of our council and our public. You can see there that 4 are listed. Beckland Road, Merchant Drive, Clyde Avenue, and Moffat Road. And again, if there's any questions, we'll certainly entertain any questions.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
That brings
thank
us
you, Mayor.
to the conclusion of our agenda. We're going to do a quick roundtable. I'm starting with Councillor Fry.
Well, I only have one this evening, and that's about November the 11th. I mean, the weather was horrible, and we went there like with umbrellas and rainwear, and I wasn't expecting to see as big of a crowd that was there. And I was so happy to see that. I mean, the fact that people came out regardless of the weather, it shows respect. And that's a big deal for me. So I just wanted to congratulate our Legion members for putting off a great ceremony. I know that the parade had to be canceled, and that's unfortunate, but they did a great ceremony and everything went off like clockwork. And also to the residents who came out and paid their respect. And that's it for me, Your Worship. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a great turnout, wasn't it, hey? And surprisingly so, right, for the weather. Yeah, thank you. Councillor Locke. Councillor Antle.
Press, I had nothing, but I did have a call tonight, and I said I'd ask it publicly, and hopefully we'll get an answer and maybe put it in the Pearl. What's the status of 166 Park Avenue? I had a resident call me just this evening. It's that the old Park Avenue school property. They called me and said it's an eyesore on Park Avenue. I told them it was in the courts, but is there any status that we can do, update the residents on that, please?
Received an update from BDO today. Basically, it's still with the courts and they're unable to disclose any more information at this time, but we're following up on the weekly.
So there's nothing the city can do because it's an eyesore now. There's nothing we can do?
No.
But I think at a certain length of time, it goes beyond eyesore and it gets into a safety issue. It's been there for months and months and months. It's turning a bit gray. The OSB board is starting to break apart. So, you know, council may have to, if we don't get a determination from the court soon, maybe we will have to act, but I guess that would be premature as of tonight. Anything else, Councillor Antle? Thank you, Director. Councillor Rice.
Thank you, Your Worship. I got a couple here, actually. The first one, actually, I got is a booklet here. Actually, I'm going to be presenting this booklet, actually, not tonight, but I just want to bring it in here tonight. The booklet actually was dropped off by Bill Stoyles, who was part of the Rotary. And part of the Rotary's mandate, as you can see from the emails and conversations around the city, about protecting our waterways. So this booklet is Freshwater Joys, is a handbook for enjoying and protecting our freshwater shorelines in our municipalities. It's actually the Rotary is pushing this, but Bill Stoyles is the one who's pushing it. And the group actually that got all the information in here is the handbook was compiled by Northeast Avalon ACAP, which is the Atlantic Coastal Action Program. So, and I am also a member of the Rotary for the Rotary's last couple of years. I certainly enjoy going to the meetings, and one thing I really enjoy is helping out whenever I can, especially in the city of Mount Pearl with our protecting our, cleaning up our waterways and our areas surrounding our banks and our erosion. And also we have we have businesses in the city that are infilling our city streams and our brooklets and stuff like that. So we got to try to put a stop to that as well in this conversation. But anyway, I just wanted to so I will be presenting one of these to each of the council members. There's going to be signed by the president of Rotary, Mr. Rick Tiller. And and also every member of the senior staff will get one as well. So I certainly like to advocate for this going forward. And I know we're all strong voice of our protecting our city and our green space. And because it's the city, like we always said, you know, Mount Pearl is a park within the city. So we want to try to keep it protected as much as we can. So I'll be presenting this actually to City Council and the directors. The second one I have is only a short one. I just want to say a big congratulations to Lauren and Doreen Squires. My mother and father-in-law is their 65th wedding anniversary today. So I want to say 65 years today, November the 18th. So big congratulations to my mother and father-in-law, Lauren and Doreen Squires. Thank you.
Good stuff. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. Well said. Over to you, Councillor Lane.
Thank you. Just one item for me. So coming up on November 22nd, Alex Taylor is having his 6th annual Merry and Bright Christmas fundraiser. All proceeds are in aid of CNIB helping a child receive a life-enhancing guide dog. So that'll be happening at the Church of Ascension, which is at 58 Smallwood Drive. You can either get tickets online or you can get them at the door. It is $20 for entrance, and there'll also be 50/50 available. Alex is an amazing young man here in our community. He's always fundraising for different causes, and this year, this was his chosen cause. He's hoping to get a good turnout. So if you have time this weekend and you're looking for something to do to get you in the very early Christmas spirit, then feel free to stop by to support a great cause.
Well, thanks, everybody. On a little bit of a business/personal note, we're all, for the most part, at different times, attending meetings with the municipalities Newfoundland, Labrador, and Corner Brook, whether it be on committees or as participants in the conference, including the AGM and the resolution sessions. I believe, Councillor Locke, we have some resolutions that we're presenting. So many of us will be there for that session to speak to it, and those are things that are important to us and other communities. M&L is an advocacy organization, and it's really important that they work for us. And I wanted to just say best of luck to Councillor Fry, who's running for Vice President, and Deputy Mayor Kiley, who's running for Avalon Director, I believe, right? So wanted to wish you both well, and I guess we'll see you at the end of the week in Corner Brook, so the best of luck. And on that note, moved by Councillor Fry and second by Councillor Locke. Thank you. We're adjourned.